welcome. Of course, Dr. Bell. Welcome back to another episode. Sport Exposure Podcast. You know, we're here to expose stories, experiences, the things that we've gone through to essentially leave a blueprint to the athletes to come after us. So this is really for the student athlete all around, past, present, future. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Bell, please introduce yourself.
So my name is Alecia Bell, Dr. Alecia Bell,
Please,
excuse me.
Please.
So I'm a doctor because I have my doctorate in physical therapy, which I just got from Hampton University in 2021. Ooh. Yes, ma'am. So yeah, that's who I am based off my title. That's me.
So we're going to get into this, straight into it. So Sport Exposure, our motto here is celebrating triumphs and learning from our defeats. When that comes to mind, what do you think about your journey to you being Dr. Bell? Mm-hmm. Could be pertaining to your athletic career. Mm-hmm. And we'll get real deep into that afterward.
Okay. When I think of celebrating triumphs, learning from defeats, I mean, I feel like that kind of not sums up my journey, but like it makes sense with my journey because what I considered defeat at the time was my junior year in college, breaking my leg. For someone for someone who's basketball player, like that's me.
You were doing very well at that time.
Girl, yes.
You were getting off.
Yes. Like I said, it was junior year of college. It was the second game of the season. I just came off of our season opener. I had a double-double, really great game. I'm starting this next game and then boom, break my leg in the first half. Done for the season. So in my mind, I'm like, done for the season off game 2. And I'm about to graduate in a year. So now in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm done for the season. Now I have a red shirt year, which I did not want. And I'm like, I'm done. I don't know what I'm going to look like as an athlete after this. But when I think back on it, and like even a year after it, learning from what I thought was defeat, like it honestly literally set me up to help me be Dr. Bell. Because from there, because I had that 5th year of eligibility, because I ended up graduating undergrad in those 4 years. So I did not have to redshirt as a student, but when I graduated, my GPA wasn't high enough to get into a doctorate program for physical therapy. And like I said, I didn't want that 5th year. I wanted to be done playing basketball.
Were you tired?
I was tired. I was hurting. And then honestly, I feel like a lot of people kind of lose their love for the game. I had lost my love for the game in college. So when I had that 5th
exhausting.
Year, child, when I had that 5th year, I was like, I don't think I can go through this again. But when I looked at where I wanted to go, which was physical therapy school to become a doctor, I said, okay, I could look at it this way. I can take this 5th year, get my master's, which is what I ended up doing. So I transferred from my 5th year, got my master's in that year. GPA ended up being high enough to get me into PT school. Boom. So essentially, my whole thing is using basketball to get where I want to go.
That's the word. Please tell the camera.
Yes. Athletes. Which one am I looking at?
This one.
This one?
This one. This yours.
One.
Yep.
All right. Athletes. This goes for anybody. Use your sport to get where you want to go. It does not have to be professionally as that in that sport. It can be whatever career you want to be in. As an athlete, you are literally being set up to go where you want to go. Whether that be networking, whether that be going to school with a major that you want to eventually pursue a career in. Athletics literally sets you up. And if you do things right, you can go anywhere you want to go with that. Point blank, period.
Drop the mic. That's perfect because that's really what Sport Exposure is about. We're about exposing our experiences because I feel like, and from you know, like they don't tell us. Nobody tells us. No, it's no blueprint. It's no map. It's no route for this. Just go to school, get a Division 1, 2, 3 scholarship, get your school paid for, and play basketball. That's it. So what about where do I major? How do I pick a major? Like, Do you think that breaking your leg, if you wouldn't have broke your leg, you wouldn't be a doctor?
It's tough. Could I have ended up becoming a doctor? Yes. I mean, like, yeah, I could have, but like my path obviously would have been very different. Like I would not have gotten that master's for free. I would have ended up having to pay for other classes, another degree. Like it would have been more debt for me. So I feel like the journey would have been more challenging if I hadn't have broke my leg. But yeah, it's weird to think about where I would be without that significant milestone in my life. I literally attribute that to, I mean, it helped me find identity outside of basketball. Because from the age of 8, I had been playing since I was 8 years old. When you go from rec league, AAU,
don't stop
into now
outside,
you're
we
in middle
outside.
School. Exactly. Like
we work it out. We got workouts in
From the time we started playing,
right?
It was rec league, middle school, AAU, high school, college. That's a lot of years. So up until high school, so that's 10 years.
This is random, but you ever think about how many miles your legs got?
Oh, I think about it because I'm 28 years old and my knees are killing me.
I think about that often when I be running. I'm like, I wonder how many miles I got on my legs. That was mad random. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. It's cool because I'm like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm too young to be feeling this old.
Listen, Motley was in here rubbing them things.
I was gonna say my knee just stopped swelling the other day.
And when the last time pickleball basketball you played in it?
I played in that women's league.
Say that's probably why I say I don't touch it no more.
I was gonna say, yeah. I do like that I can go back and play just for fun. Like I have the option to play or not play. Like there was a game or two I was like, I'm not feeling it. I didn't go. But I
had a choice.
Yes, I had the choice. Which growing up, you really didn't have that choice. At all. It's like, you gotta work out. You're gonna go. You got a game, gotta be
exactly.
There. So yeah, so I do still play for fun, but it's only in the summertime.
And not in the winter months?
You said what?
Not in the winter, fall months?
That's when my body recovers.
Oh, for the next year.
For the next year.
We'll be back next summer.
Next year, then I'll be ready. Summer.
So let's get into it. When you broke your leg, what was that process for you like mentally, more so?
It was very, very tough. Like, very hard. Because I broke it in November of 2014. Yeah, November of 2014. So it was kind of coming up on like Thanksgiving break. And so I looked at it as like, I get to go home for Thanksgiving break.
Which never happens.
Never happens.
Never happens.
In college, you do not go home for any breaks. Fall break, Thanksgiving, Christmas, spring break. You're getting none of it. Summer break. There's no such thing as a break.
At all.
So the first thing I'm thinking, first thing, obviously, I'm done for the season. I'm all to pieces. Then I kind of get happy because I get to go home for Thanksgiving break.
That's a plus. That's sick. We got to think about it like that.
It's crazy. But then I kind of also started thinking about the process to get back and how long it was going to take. I was told it was going to be a year before I even get back to doing anything, which thankfully it only took me like 9 months to recover because I had really good rehab, really good physical therapy, even though I did it with our athletic trainers. But essentially it was physical therapy.
Better athletic trainers too. That matters.
It does matter.
That matters.
It does matter. But it took a toll on me mentally. I didn't, I guess, necessarily know the definition of depression at the time, but I could definitely say I probably had hit a point where I was sad constantly. I can't play basketball. I'm not able to walk. I'm essentially mostly staying home. Like aside of like going to practices from time to time or rehab, like I'm sitting in the house. Thankfully, I had a really good teammate that helped me out. Her name is Joy.
Shout out to Joy.
Shout out to Joy. Yeah, she's one of my best friends. And so I stayed with her for like some months. So she really helped me get through. And then I was also part of a group called Delaware Christian Athletes. So kind of like leaning more on my faith in that aspect. That's where I kind of learned more about identity outside of basketball. And so that helped me a lot. I want to
stop right there because a lot of kids also don't know about those organizations that are available to them. I was not aware of those organizations probably till grad school.
Really?
Going to Georgia Southern, I heard Athletes in Action. That was my first time ever hearing about it.
Yeah, so there are a couple of organizations. I do not know all of them off the top of my head. Athletes in Action is one. I know Fellowship of Christian Athletes is one where high school athletes can get involved. I worked a camp or two coming out of college for them. So yeah, Athletes in Action, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Athletes InterVarsity is another organization, and that's what Delaware Christian Athletes was under. Those are the main ones that I can think of. But if we're talking about like college level, Athletes in Action, Athletes InterVarsity are the two main ones that I know, and then Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
These are all faith-based organizations specifically for athletes, guys.
Yes.
Just wanted to highlight that point
For sure.
because we don't know what we don't know.
No, that's so true. That is very true. Like you don't know until somebody exposes you to it. Sports exposure.
Exactly. That's why we are here. Okay, so your journey from breaking your leg to come back. Did you play your last year after that?
Yeah, so I decided to not take my redshirt year. So my next year coming back was my senior year, even though it was only my third year of playing. So yeah, I came back. I played that last season. It was an okay season. Like it wasn't anything spectacular. Like I played. I was just kind of there. I was like on the team. Like I got my playing time. I played my role. I did what I needed to do because it was my last year.
At that point where you I was going to say, where you checked out?
I was ready to be done.
Can we unpack that? Because a lot of people be looking at me crazy when I say I was checked out early. we get to a point where you lose the love for the game. Long story short, it's really no ifs, ands, or buts around it. You lose your love for the game, and not all of us have that want or desire to transfer. And that's okay.
Oh, more than okay. I know for me, I didn't have the desire to transfer because I didn't feel like going through that process. But more so because I knew where I wanted to go after college. Like I knew I didn't want to play basketball after college. I knew physical therapy was what I wanted to do. So I more so stayed because one, didn't feel like going through the whole transfer portal. And two, I knew I was at a school that would set me up for where I wanted to go. Again,
yes, you were.
using my using basketball to get where I wanted to go. But yeah, losing your love for the game is something that I have heard like a lot of the girls that I've grown up with playing. Like it's a very common thing that I've heard people say. And it often happens in college when some people, college basketball is time of their life. They have fun.
You know what I've realized? It's more so women and we hear that from.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I don't think I've heard very many.
I've never heard a man say, oh, I lost a limb. No, never heard that. Actually, now that I think about it, never heard a man say that. I wonder why.
That is definitely something that should be unpacked for sure. Because it's only been women that I've heard.
Probably our emotion. It's probably a whole lot that goes into that.
I feel like a lot of men are trying to go to the league. They just like, I'm just hooping. Men just like to hoop. That's all.
Do.
They just love to hoop.
They just love to
I feel like women, I feel like men, they just love to hoop. Women, some women love to hoop, but I feel like women,
we know how to use what needs to be used to get to where we want to go.
It's like, okay, we get this free education, bet. Like I've been playing for 10, 12 years. 4 years. What's another 4 more years? Right. Yeah, right. So definitely a lot of women I've heard saying they lose their love for the game. It becomes a job. I had the most fun ever playing in high school. Those 4 years, 4 years in high school, like I was playing with my sisters that I've known for years.
Exactly.
I mean, like record aside, like it was just a great time to play.
We had a ball.
A great time.
Even like, playing each other.
Even playing against the teams that we're playing against, like it's competitive, yes, but like you've been playing against these girls for years. Like you build a relationship outside of basketball. In college, like I said, it's a job. Like we kind of talked about earlier, you have to be up at the crack of dawn for lift, conditioning. Got to go to class.
Individuals.
team
Gotta
practice.
find a way to eat.
Exactly.
Or sleep.
Oh my gosh. The
Or go to
amount
class.
of times that we would finish practice at like 10 and then have to go find something to eat because the dining hall is closed. I'm like, dog, why is there nothing? Why don't we think about this beforehand? Because we are having sleep.
This
for
new
dinner.
generation would have told it the first day, hello, I can't eat. As I say, I think a lot of things that we went through, we didn't have to. But this new generation, which is, I applaud it. Speak up.
Yeah.
Please, because we were scared.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the things that we went through, these new generation, and you coaching. These new kids would never. They wouldn't last 10 minutes in practice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. It's like,
they're very in tune with their emotions.
Yes.
And what they don't want to do, they're going to tell you they're not going to do.
Whether they verbally say it or they just show it with their actions.
And I can't really be mad at that though.
Yeah.
Because as a child, I feel like growing up, we weren't given that space. You do what you have to do. I could say I'm sick. I still have to go to school because I have practice to play a game tomorrow. How did that call? I said I'm sick. But I have to suck it up to go to school only so that I could practice to play tomorrow. I can't rest today. But now you can do whatever you want. It feels like.
Yeah. But I also feel like with things like this generation, just like times today, people, like you said, are more vocal. But I also feel like it's calling things out. Because like, even though you're young, like you still have feelings, you still have things you're going through.
Exactly.
Like you still have a voice.
And you're still entitled to all of that.
Yeah.
It's just, we didn't know no better. Like I said, we didn't know what we didn't know at the time. And we were conditioned to just play through it all.
Pretty much.
It got us to where we are though. Yeah. So talk about a time where you had to be, we talked about you breaking your leg, and I'm sure that's one of them, where you had to be resilient, and how that helped your mentality. Because we all about overcoming our adversity.
Overcoming adversity. I guess I'll talk about coming into my career. Obviously, working on a doctorate, it's hard work. Hard. So I didn't struggle in school, but I had to work extremely hard through school to the point where I honestly didn't think I was going to graduate at one point. And that was something new to me because there has been very few things where I'm like not good at it, or where I'm like, wow, I have to work extra hard at it. So yeah, working on my doctorate degree, it was very taxing. Like I was up late nights just trying to get that just passing grade. And so it took me sitting here thinking like, look, Alecia, you've come this far, but you didn't come this far to only come this far. Like there's something on the other side for you.
Right.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, just recognize like when you're going through something, being able to make adjustments and then find that motivation to push through, like with your goal in mind. So yeah. To get where I am right now, the PT school was no joke.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Listen, I applaud you.
And I'm thankful I'm done with school because literally going through 8 years of school after high school, I would not do it right.
I be contemplating getting a PhD, but y'all make it sound awful.
School is...
Y'all make it sound awful. So going through your PhD and getting your PhD, I'm sure you were reminded of a lot of the skills that you learned as an athlete. So how did that transfer over?
Oh, honestly, I'm so thankful for sports, like ups and downs, but like you learn so many skills as an athlete that if you remember what you've been through, remember what you learned, it can translate over into adulthood easily. My ability to network with people, my ability to be a leader, And also just kind of being comfortable being around people, being able to speak to people, because like being part of like leadership on my team, I was a captain for 2 years.
Right.
So a lot of the things that I learned, time management. I mean, sometimes I still struggle with that. I procrastinate like crazy, but like time management, there's a lot of things you learn as an athlete that carry over into adulthood.
I think that one thing particularly, because I struggle with that still to this day, comes from being an athlete, because we didn't have to do much until it was last minute. I could do this real quick and make it look golden.
Correct.
Make it look, I put so much time into this. But like even now, it's just, I will wait till the very last minute and know it's there. I see it on my calendar for a week and a half.
Yep.
And still, I look at it, act like it's not there. But I feel like that's another thing come from being an athlete. There's so many skills. There's so many habits. There's so much knowledge that we pick up unknowingly.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, like time management. I didn't even think about that till like after the fact.
Yeah.
Because like I remember doing my resume coming out of college. I didn't have anything to put up there.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Putting championships up there. I'm like, balance the 40-hour practice schedule with X amount of hours of class. I'm putting all the orgs up there that I was in, the volunteer work.
Resume look real scam. Like I can fill up the traits, like the
absolutely got that. The skills,
traits, the skills and stuff. I can fill that up. But experience? Because like you can't work as a college athlete. I wasn't allowed
to work. Like my mom literally said, like playing, like you play basketball.
Yeah, it's like
this is serious. Get a degree. Get your shit paid for. We got everything else.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a recipe for disaster because I didn't get my first job until 23.
Yeah, this is my first real job that I started at the age of 27.
That's insane.
20, 26, 27, something like that.
How do you tell your story to people? Do people look at you like you crazy sometimes?
Because it sounds great. I told my coworkers, I was like, yeah, this is my first job. They were like, huh? They said, how old are you? I said, I'm 27 years old. Have you never worked? High school, didn't have a job. I played basketball. College. I worked, I was going to say, I kind of did like volunteer work in a physical therapy clinic, which I got paid for. Which I'm like, okay.
Right.
But like, and then obviously I was in school after college. So I'm just like, did not have a career or a real job until the age of 27.
I mean, it worked out for you.
It worked.
I mean, you put the time in, obviously. But what do you tell your athletes now? When you talk about networking, utilizing resources, this is so many resources that are given to us. I wouldn't even say given to us. They're available to us.
Available, yes.
And so it takes somebody to tell you that they're available because they're not going to tell you. But it's so many resources, so many opportunities that are available to you before you put the ball down.
Correct.
They vanish after that. Gone. Poof, be gone.
Yeah.
What do you tell your kids how to utilize that, maximize their time?
So basically, what I'll touch on first is like if you're going into college as an athlete, if you know for a fact you don't want to play after college, since I know physical therapy, I'll just use physical therapy. You want to get into physical therapy, try to just do a couple volunteer hours anything.
Volunteer anywhere, guys.
Exactly.
Just put it on your resume. Just start stacking it up. It could be an hour.
Exactly.
It could be 2 hours.
Yeah. And so that just gives you exposure in just different things outside of basketball. Volunteering when you can, because obviously you have a busy schedule.
Right.
And then when it comes to networking and utilizing resources, there's alumni. I mean,
boosters.
Yeah, boosters. Honestly, like being out of college, now kind of coaching and being back around all the coaches that I grew up around, utilize them, like if they're able to help you in any way, because I'm sure outside of coaching, some of them probably have other jobs where they can connect you with other people. Right. So if you still have those connections, use them.
Please talk about the power of networking. You said it like 3-4 times.
It is so literally, I can't tell you how many times I feel like I've been put in situations based on who people know. Because you know how they say it's not what you know, it's who you know.
And I always take it a step further. It's about who knows you. Because just because I know you don't mean that you don't me.
That is factual.
And from being a student athlete, I feel like we're so comfortable in our own environments. And networking is intimidating to a lot of people.
It can be.
So please talk about the skill, like how you got into it, how you said you were a leader, so obviously you knew how to speak to people. But I also feel like that's also a downfall for a lot of student athletes because we're not put in front of those situations, environments, but we have to speak up to even know how to network.
Correct. One thing I will say, like how you said, it's about who knows you. First, if people are going to know you, be somebody who they would want to recommend to somebody else. Like, we might not have, perfect lives, but like present yourself as somebody that, okay, like I remember this young lady or I remember this young man.
Right.
Upstanding person, like has a good head on their shoulders. Even if you have kind of some rough patches, like seeking out mentorship can even help kind of get you on the up and up.
That's a huge one.
I would say
mentorship.
Once I said mentorship, I'm like, bro, that's a whole nother topic. I feel like once we get on a topic, we kind of like something else gets brought up, and it's like, oh.
I mean, that plays into networking though.
It does. I'm gonna refer to college because like I know my school would have like occasional athletics events where boosters, former athletes would come to the gym. Current student athletes had the opportunity to go meet those.
Were y'all's mandatory? Okay.
Yes.
I was about to say, go kids. Go.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure ours were mandatory.
We used to hate going.
Yeah. But I mean, having a teammate with you if you feel nervous, but like at the same time, just kind of putting yourself out. I don't know, putting yourself out there can be hard.
And I tell a lot of kids, just highlight yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to talk about themselves. Like, what do you do? Like, tell somebody what you do. Tell somebody why you do it. Tell somebody what you want to do and ask, how can it help? It could be really that simple.
Yeah, I mean, once you find kind of a similarity with somebody, like he's just literally just having a conversation with them. You don't even have to, it doesn't even have to be about what you want to talk to them about.
At all.
Just have a conversation. Once you build that, that kind
rapport,
of,
right. And that's what I tell, it could be as simple as a hi and bye. You say hi to the right person, how you doing? They're going to want to know more about you.
Yeah.
May not even know that you're a student athlete. And I also tell kids that you have the upper hand while you're wearing that jersey.
That is true.
Especially at the bigger schools. Like, everybody knows who you are. You have access to pretty much whatever you want.
Pretty much.
Use that. Please, use that. Because once it's done, your season is over in March. They probably forgot about you by April. Depending on how good you were.
Facts.
Really, depending on how good you were, they snatch all of that up. But during those 4 years while you're in school, you have so many people around you. They want to help you. How can we do this? How can we do this? Like, take all of that, soak all of that up.
Take advantage. Literally, you are going to school for free or for a discount, or I mean, if you're at JUCO, whatever D3, I know
because essentially that's what the school doing with you. Yeah. The school using you for your talent.
Correct. They use you.
Them.
Use them.
Please.
I mean, that's all it is.
It's a business. Everything's business. Politics.
Everything's business.
Everything's politics, business. So you're still around sports.
I am. Yes. So currently I am.
And I just seen that you did something with soccer. Was that soccer?
Yes. So the soccer team I was working with is Lionsbridge Football Club. Shout out to Lionsbridge, up the bridge. So it is a semi-pro soccer team. So essentially college soccer players from kind of all over come and play here for the summer. And it was part of because I'm getting a sports certification, basically. So I'm a physical therapist. Now I'm trying to be sports certified because I want to specifically work with athletes. Exactly. I will be sports certified. So this program I'm going through is a year long, and part of the program is doing sideline coverage with that soccer team. And then in the fall, I'll be doing like sideline coverage with high school football.
Okay.
Yeah. So the soccer team I was just working with, semi-pro soccer, I think it's been in the Newport News area for about 6 years now.
Mhm.
And a lot of people actually don't know about them until this year when I kept posting them on my Instagram story and everything. Everyone's like, what is this team that you keep posting? Like, why are you always at these soccer games? Because I never used to watch soccer. It was never my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm finding a love for different sports now, just being exposed to different things. So that's what that was. I was working sideline coverage, kind of like an athletic trainer
Mhm.
with that soccer team as part of my sports program.
What keeps you coming back to sports?
Because sports has given so much to me. And I feel like I can relate so much to these kids who are playing. And I feel like being around them, I can then give back in any way that I can, whether that be helping them get healthy through my career, whether that be giving knowledge or advice to any current high school or middle school female basketball player.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I got back into coaching now. Like I'm home. I grew up here. I played here my entire life. So if I can my first year back home from Lenore Rhine, I coached at Woodside, obviously it's my alma mater,
Mhm.
the Wolverines. So I coached at Woodside for 2 seasons. And now I'm at Minchville. This past season, I was at Minchville High School. Go Monarchs. So
What a switch.
Exactly. I got to show love to both schools. But this past season, I was at Minchville High School helping with the varsity girls. I've done 2 seasons coaching AAU with Boo Williams 16 and under team with Coach Jonathan, who I also played for.
Mhm.
So it's like, I feel like being in these spaces, and I don't necessarily want to coach as a career. Like that's not necessarily what I'm passionate about. I'm more so, like I mentioned earlier, mentorship.
Right.
Like I'm trying to give back to girls who are literally in a position that I was in 10 years ago and 12 years ago. And so that's kind of why I stay in it. And that's why my presence is here. And there's not a lot of female coaches.
I was just about to say the game has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And when I look around, even my little time frame training, that's one of the reasons why I did it. Because it's when you look around the city here locally, it's no female woman.
I was gonna say the only
Bailey.
I was gonna say Shonda Bailey.
That's what I'm saying. Outside of like
Coach
head
Starks.
coaches.
Yeah, I was gonna say outside of that, it's like
because I remember growing up, we had mentors galore. Even if I didn't want them, we were just around them. And you still being on the scene, where do you see like the lack of anything? Because like I said, the game has changed a whole lot from the time we played to now, and even in between, it changed. It's probably changed like 2-3 times since we've been playing.
Yeah.
And not just specifically basketball, but you still being around sports, the game has changed a lot.
Oh,
the whole world of sports has changed.
Definitely changing. I will say when we were coming up, specifically in high school, we used to have a lot of alumni come to our practices. And like on Saturdays, we would actually scrimmage against the apprentice school girls team. Which in high school, I'm like, bro, I used to hate coming to Saturday practices.
I told somebody I was literally playing grown women in 8th grade.
Exactly.
Probably came back from overseas.
Yeah. And so I think having Woodside alumni come play against us, like we had like a constant revolving door of former players. Again, coaching us up, giving us advice, playing against us, pushing us, which made us tougher, which made like playing up to a level of competition that we weren't quite there yet, but it made us play there. And so now being around coaching, I don't see it as often as far as people coming back. Because a lot of girls, a lot of us have moved away. And I'm not going to fault anybody for that. Like we got to live our lives. But just when you can, having the girls that used to play, whether that be in the district or at that school, coming back to play against the girls, it'd be like, hey, like, I saw you do this. Maybe you could have done this. And just talking to them, being around them. These girls want to be around us. That's the thing about it. Whether they like say it or not, you can tell they're looking up to us.
You could tell, definitely. And I'm glad that we are able to recognize that, because as you said before, like a lot of kids that look up to us, I also have to realize now that I'm adult and I've worked in so many different areas of sports at different levels, you understand that you and I may be all that little girl had.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you have coaches, then you got all these people. It's supposed to be athletic support staff,
Mm-hmm.
which do everything but support you. Everything but support you. But those people, and I look back and think about the mentors and the people that used to come in when we used to play at Heritage. Jim used to be jumping.
Mm-hmm.
We was at YH Thomas, Boo Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it was a constant revolving door of people coming back just to say, hey, coming back. Even if they practice, they on the side of practice talking shit like, oh, we used to do this, we used to do that.
Yeah.
I don't care what you used to do.
The thing is, that's me now. That's me now. Like back when I used to play, when we were late, we would be doing suicides with towels on our hands and doing bear crawls.
I'm like, talking about that with Coach Jonathan. That man literally had us cleaning the floors with a jersey.
Yes. I'm pretty sure, I don't remember what year it was, what grade I was
Rick
in.
In the corner just weak.
It was halftime of an AAU game. We had to take off our jerseys again, cleaning the floor with our jerseys at halftime of the game because we were playing so bad.
Coach Jonathan ain't play. He built a lot of character. I'll tell you that. He built a hell of he built a lot of character out of us. And when I look back, those character builders is what get us where we are today.
For sure.
Like, talk about that. The people that played important roles in your journey. Could be a mentor, could be family, just who was always there to inspire you. Because like we said, it's a lot of coaches in the area that played a huge part in where we are today. Just constantly pouring into us. Like, you got it. And one coach cussed us out. We had another coach at the other bench lifting you back up, trying to keep that balance. And now you being on the other side, what role did Alecia play? What the kids call you? They call you
Coach Bell. Then Coach Bell until they find out my first name's Alicia, and then it's Alecia, and it's like I'm not your little friend.
Okay, right? We is not
exactly. But as far as like support systems and coaches that help coming up, well, first I'm gonna shout out my family. Point blank, period. Mom, dad, sister. I mean, my sister, we were mostly kind of playing together, but my parents and my grandparents. Yes, little Lexi. Hey, sis. But my parents and grandparents, number one supporters through and through. They were at every single game until this day, even when I play rec league. They're at every game.
The Bells ain't never played by them other Bells.
Not playing. And then as far as like coaches support growing up, I mean, that's what made me want to get back into coaching now that I'm still here at home. I mean, there's so many coaches and I can't even name everybody. I'm not going to try to name everybody, but like, Coach Donahue, rest in peace. Like that man was one of the best coaches.
The best coach.
Yes.
Like, that was my dog.
Yes.
That was a heavy one for me. That was real heavy.
For sure. Because I'll never forget, it was after we just played at Towson.
We had just played at FAM.
Yeah.
Coach just pulled me to the side. We was at Hooters to tell me.
Really? Yeah, because I got a call from my mom when we were on the bus headed back to school, and she let me know. That was a tough one. But yeah, Coach Donahue, huge supporter, always in your corner.
Big teddy bear.
Always, yes. Playing for Coach Talon in high school. He's one of the best X's and O's coaches I've had. I mean, he comes to my rec league games and supports.
He's still involved.
Still involved.
Yeah.
We said Coach J, Coach Jonathan. I obviously came back. I'm helping him with AAU because I respect him as a man. I respect him as a coach, and I like what he's capable of doing.
Right.
Well, my first AAU coach, Coach Webb. Now I'm coaching with his son, Adrian. So it's
full circle.
Coming full circle. Like I said, I've had a lot of coaches, but those are the few that come to mind like immediately that have always had kind of like a lasting impact, that are always there supporting me and still supporting me to this day. So it makes a difference. And that's why I'm here.
It makes a huge it makes a huge difference. So what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
The legacy I hope to leave behind is I want to leave a long-lasting impact in my community. Like I said, I'm born and raised here in the 757, born and raised here in Newport News. And so I know, even today, like people who watch me grow up playing high school basketball will come up to me, did you play at Woodside? Are you Alecia Bell? And it's crazy because I'm like,
to run from it.
it's crazy because I'm like,
how do you remember that?
Exactly. Like I was literally in high school. So like, I don't even like looking at it as bragging, but like it just happens.
Right.
So clearly I have made a lasting impact as an athlete on the court. So I feel like a legacy has been kind of solidified in that aspect, athlete Alecia Bell. So now with me being an adult, being in my career, I'm a sports physical therapist. So I'm trying to now heal athletes and help them stay healthy so that way they can play and give back to the community here as well. So now I'm trying to do things on both sides of the court and make that kind of my legacy, make that kind of impact here in the 757.
Awesome. So a lot of schools, and I know a lot of athletes can relate. They'll tell you what you can and can't do.
Mm.
You being a physical therapist now,
Mm-hmm.
former athlete, former basketball player, specifically basketball and football,
Mm-hmm.
they will put you on these are the majors you could choose from.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a doctor, you can't come here.
Correct. That's true.
So when we're talking about giving advice, because now we're in a world, you could do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
It's going to be easy. No, it's going to be hard, probably harder than the regular walk. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But what advice can you give to athletes that want to be doctors, that want to be things that they engineers that want, like, and those are all things that as an athlete, if I would have told somebody I was an engineer, that's what I mean, right? But that's what, like, you go to, it's a lot of athletes that they go to these different schools.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the level is now. Your coach will tell you that's not going to work.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to athletes?
I would say don't settle. And when I say don't settle, there will be a school for you with the major you want, with the career path you want. And when I say don't settle, you don't have to settle for something you don't necessarily want to do in order to go to that school you feel like is the best fit for you.
Mm-hmm.
You may have an offer at your dream school, top D1, Power 5, whatever. But if you don't feel like that's the fit for you, find somewhere that's the fit. Like if I'm sure you can be marketed well anywhere you go. Find what resonates most with you, because in the end, it's your life.
It's your career.
It's your career.
Path.
It's your happiness.
Most importantly.
Exactly. Like you're at this school for 4 years. And do you want to be unhappy for the sake of basketball? Which, I mean, a lot of people have sucked it up.
Please don't, y'all.
Exactly. Don't.
It's another school out there. Like, I promise you, it's another school.
But yeah, so don't settle. And just making the most of what is available to you. So when it comes to recruiting, and it can be tough. So if you're not being recruited by like a whole lot of schools, then it can be kind of iffy, and I can't really speak to that. So I'm just gonna say, stay true to yourself. If it doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't right.
Right.
But yeah, if you have multiple schools to choose from, literally take the time to look at each school, look at what they offer. I mean, talk to your coaches, because some coaches are gonna be like, yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, I wanted to be an athletic training major. I couldn't do that though because I was an athlete.
And those are things you can't change, y'all.
Exactly.
Like, no matter what school, how bad you want to go to the school, if your coaches has his rules, if you want to be a pharmacist and play on this team, you're probably not going to play on this team.
Correct.
But you just got to find another place, like you said. Like, if that's what you want to be, if you know you want to be a pharmacist, that means you got to find another route.
And to that point, whether or not I would have done this, I don't know. But we'll use pharmacists, for example. If you being recruited by a school, you want to take a pharmacy route, you know for a fact you're not going to play after college, and pharmacy is truly what you want to do, you may have to forfeit that school that you're trying to play basketball at if that is truly what you want to do.
Gotta make sense.
Exactly. So I'm like, I was not in that situation, and I feel like that would be a tough situation to be in. But just like thinking back on it, if you know you're not gonna hoop after college,
What are we doing? What are we doing?
like yeah, the free money is cool. I mean, don't get me
It's
wrong.
a blessing.
It is a huge blessing because I got 2 degrees for free.
Girl.
2. Like,
Same.
so it's just like, yeah, the money is nice and it helps a lot, but don't let money be everything. Decisions can be tough.
They are very tough. They're very tough. So to wrap us up, Sport Exposure, like I said before, we're all about exposing our journeys, exposing our experiences, exposing whatever you want to expose. So exposure can be good, exposure can be bad. So what does Dr. Bell want to expose?
Ooh, what do I want to expose? I feel like I'm gonna expose the good. I feel like we've been kind of hitting a lot of high points.
Yeah.
This time around. Or expose it. What I want to expose, sport exposure. I think I'm gonna just literally just kind of hit on what we've already talked about. Utilizing athletics, utilizing sport for your personal gain. I mean, it's there for you. Yeah, especially
Go get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Go.
Don't hesitate. If you have these things available to you, don't hesitate. You have people in your corner who are hopefully, whether you know it or not, hopefully the people who are there to help you are letting you know that they're there to help you. But yeah, like anything you want, you can go get just by simply being an athlete. I think athletes have an upper hand, honestly.
We do. Everybody loves sports. Everybody loves athletes. Use it.
Yeah.
Use it. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, Dr. Bell. This was perfect. I hope somebody gained something. If you are a student athlete out there that wants to be a physical therapist or a doctor, here's proof that it can be done. Catch y'all next time.